Girl math is claiming that you're independent boss-ass bitch while you're receiving government assistance and child support. Girl math is cheating on the nice guy or treating the nice guy like shit and ending up with a douchebag, but then crying on the internet about not being able to find a nice guy. Girl math is being a bitter baby mom. You don't really want your ex back, but you don't want him to be happy either. I guess that's most girls, actually, not just bitter baby moms. Girl math is having a boyfriend that always makes effort and time and dates, but because it's not a 5-star restaurant, it's still not good enough. Girl math is getting on the internet and saying oddly specific examples of like a football player, but at the same time, simultaneously calling yourself out basically for your horrible life choices. Girl math is making 100 fake social media accounts just to stalk your ex's new girlfriend because you're jealous and can't get over it, even if you don't want him back in the first place. Girl math is calling men ugly, but wearing filters, lashes, hair extensions, and self-tanner. Girl math is actually just another excuse to shame men on the internet, just the same as the ick trend. Okay, bye.
Girl math is just regular math with the accountability removed. Every single item on that list is a choice that produced a consequence she refuses to own. Shamed the nice guy, picked the douchebag, can't find a nice guy. That's not a mystery. That's a receipt. A fool and their choices are soon parted from their options. The math always catches up eventually.
Somehow every girl's ex-boyfriend was toxic and abusive because women are perfect. She's over there sending flirty text messages to 6 other guys, but he's insecure. She cheats, but it's because he never gave her any attention. You have 4 baby daddies, 4 kids, and none of them want anything to do with you, but somehow you're still not the problem. You guys have another boyfriend every 3 months. You don't need another boyfriend. You need God. Like, you guys need to start taking accountability sometimes. Men can't even ask for a basic human decency like respect anymore.
4 different men, 4 different disasters, 4 identical verdicts. When every story ends with the same villain and the same innocent victim, the common thread isn't the men. It's the narrator. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't blame the cups for being empty.
Can someone please make this make sense? So let me get this straight. When women are ready to leave, they spend months planning on how they're going to leave. They tell their friends, they tell their family, they lie to their husband's face for months at a time. They stack money. They might get their own apartment. They might even have a plan to set up their kids at different schools. But they don't see that as deceitful or dishonest or harsh, and they don't understand why men are blindsided when women do this. And these women are actually praised. They did the right thing. He was so toxic. He was so horrible. He was blah, blah, blah. All the things. Yes, queen. And no, I don't mean domestic violence situations. I'm talking everyday relationships where the woman finally says that she had enough and she's claimed to be checked out for months at a time and she decides to leave. But when a man does the exact same thing in the exact same way, now he's a piece of shit. In fact, he won't even have his ducks in a row. His idea of leaving is to go sleep on his parents.
She planned the exit for 6 months, she's praised. He planned for 6 days, he's a villain. Same behavior, different gender, completely different verdict from the same audience. A man who understands this asymmetry stops building his life around a court that already decided his sentence before the trial.
And in relationships or men that are trying to get to know women, you guys are getting into relationships with women that you have to teach them basic human decency. You shouldn't have to teach a woman how to respect you. You shouldn't have to teach a woman to be nurturing. You shouldn't have to teach a woman to not post her butt cheeks on the internet for other men. You shouldn't have to teach a woman not to use other people or talk down to people or to not emasculate you. You shouldn't have to teach her how to have conversation with you. You shouldn't have to teach her to not yell at you or degrade you or bully you or be disrespectful. You shouldn't have to teach her life skills. She should be able to cook and clean and do her own laundry and have the basic skills in life.
He's not asking for a servant. He's asking for a functioning adult. The bar is on the floor and she tripped over it. A man who has to teach a woman how to respect him doesn't have a girlfriend. He has a project. Stop enrolling in projects. Select someone who already graduated.
Be the most useless you can be as a woman. Yes, you heard me right. What I mean by being the most useless you can be is being the most useless you can be in a relationship with a man. Actually, it's a secret key to be the happiest, the most beautiful in a marriage or in a relationship. You must be useless for a man. Don't be useless for yourself. Give yourself everything. You deserve everything, but you have to give it to yourself, not to a man. Because the moment you will start playing the maid, I'm sorry to say that, but the moment you will start cleaning, cooking, and managing everything, you will become his servant. We have forgotten, nowadays, women tend to forget that women don't bring anything material to the table. We bring intangible things. We bring intangible value. We aspire men every single day. We give life. We validate them. We give them energy. They do a lot for women as well. I'm not saying that they're useless. Absolutely not. But men bring material things, material value in a woman's life, and women brings intangible things and intangible value in a man's life. Because once you start being useful to a man, you actually embody both roles. You embody the masculine and the feminine role all at once. And this is exactly where a lot of women start embodying both masculine and feminine roles. They start embodying masculine and feminine duties. After that, unfortunately, it's gonna be done for you because the man you're with is going to take advantage of you.
The strategy is bring nothing material, take everything material, and call it balance. She dressed it up beautifully, but the translation is simple. Extract without contributing and call it feminine energy. A partnership where one side is deliberately useless isn't a relationship. It's an audit waiting to happen.
Oh, well, I'll sleep around and have fun in my 20s and marry one of those men when I'm ready to settle down. Nope, it's too late, sister. The men that you claim don't exist in society anymore and the ones that you actually want, they're not waiting around for you. So you can't say, oh, yes, men should be husbands and fathers and not devote their entire life to money, but I'm going to do that because I'm a woman. What?
She thought the stable men would be available on a flexible schedule. They weren't. They had their own timeline and they kept it. The men who wanted commitment found it while she was busy not being ready. He's not waiting by the phone. He's at the school run.
When men stop approaching you, when you stop getting countless of just random DMs from men, you've made it. You've reached that girl level, the baddest of baddists of bitches. When you don't get approached by men. Yeah. When you have this intimidating aura of this woman who respects and loves herself, like this woman who, you can't play with her. Oh, I feel it from the way she speaks, how she is as a person, and that is when you know. It's honestly a really, good thing when you don't get approached. Yeah, period.
Not being approached means you made it. You're too powerful to be noticed. Or the market gave its feedback and she rebranded the rejection as an achievement. The shelf didn't move. She just changed the label on the product.
Stop stressing yourself over not being approached. I'm speaking to myself with this one as well. I'm speaking to myself in really all of the videos that I post. But for reference, I am 5'10" on like a regular day with like shoes on and everything. I'm 5'9.5" without shoes, but I'm 5'10". I am dark skinned. So I am a dark skinned, tall, black, pretty woman. On a day where I'm wearing heels, I am a 6 foot, tall, dark skinned, pretty black woman. Today was one of those days. And this guy, he was super attractive, really pretty little eyes, dark complexion like mine, really well built and like muscular. He looked at me, I looked at him, we made eye contact. He's walking the opposite way, so we're going like this. We literally turn and make eye contact again. I keep walking. I turn, he turns. That happens about 5 more times. Does he approach me? No. I'm gonna take that as he was just admiring. Obviously, he found me attractive because he kept looking at me. But he was just admiring from a distance, and that's okay. But it just made me, like, I guess, realize that sometimes men look at you just to be like, oh wow, she's beautiful, but they're not gonna like approach you. They're not trying to get into a relationship with you or whatever. Or they can tell that, like, oh, she looks like a high-end woman, looks like a high-value woman, whatever, or a vibe you give off of, and they're like, I don't think I can handle.
7 eye contacts, 0 approach. Her conclusion, too high value to handle. He looked at her the way you look at a painting in a museum. Appreciated, didn't buy a ticket. The man who walks past isn't afraid of her. He just did a quiet calculation and kept moving. That's not intimidation, that's discernment.
And a lot of the women that come to my platform want high value, high earning, masculine men. You cannot be a hoe, number one. You cannot dress a certain way. That's another thing. Women try to say, oh, he's controlling me because he doesn't want me to wear XYZ. No, you should respect that man enough not to put him in danger, realistically speaking, because if you're too sexy and another man steps you, now he's gotta say something. And if he doesn't say something, now he's not a man. You don't want no high value masculine man because now you're putting them in danger, and that's a problem. Girls are twisted out here. It's delusion. It's giving delusion.
The Lululemon.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Those standards are there.
She wants protection without the terms that make protection possible. A high-value man who protects what he loves doesn't negotiate the conditions with the person he's protecting. He sets them. If the conditions are called controlling, he removes himself from the arrangement. Simple. You can't hire a bodyguard and then negotiate his brief.
But what I'm saying is that men in general can't communicate with women because when they do, we have uncomfortable conversations like this where women get angry about things that are valid with men. Hey, I don't like my girl being out there in the streets, promoting herself out there to men when she's in a relationship. This is something that a lot of men feel and experience, but they can't be honest with women because they deal with the ramifications that we're dealing with right now. Yeah. Girls get triggered. They get loud. I don't care about your opinion.
Honest communication arrived. She made it a crisis. Now men say nothing and get called emotionally unavailable. They built the silence and named it a male flaw. Every door you lock from the outside looks like a closed door from the inside.
Let's be so for real. Can somebody tell me where this man consented to having his private conversation leaked on the internet for public humiliation and criticism? It's just for starters. The second point that I want to make that I haven't heard anyone talk about is women are always like, oh, I wish a man would just be upfront about his intentions. Oh my God, why are there so many players and why is he using me? And he lied and manipulated me and didn't tell me the truth. And now you have a man that's having open, honest communication with you, telling you his intent, and now y'all are still mad. Not to mention, the only reason that this is an issue is because women are taking it as a form of rejection and
She asked for honesty. He gave it. She called the internet. They want transparency from men and ammunition from transparency. A man who sees this pattern once stops loading the weapon for people who pointed at him.
I have to put this guy on blast. He says, while you may be beautiful to some, you are also very used. Who wants a woman that is used to the extent you are? So mentally, sexually, and all other aspects. This is what pretty girls overlook.
He said it plainly, and she put him on blast, hoping the audience would disagree. They didn't. Beauty opens doors. What's behind the door determines whether anyone stays. The mileage is always part of the assessment, whether it gets said out loud or not.
The problem with a lot of y'all is that these men do not see a future with y'all, which is why they're not pouring into you like they see one with you, but you over here taking the little grains of salt and you building a sandcastle with it. That is why he not putting in all this effort that you're begging for, because he don't want to be with you for real. He don't want to be with you for real. So why he gonna sit up there and like kingdom build?
She's building real estate out of crumbs and calling it a relationship. A man who sees a future invests in it automatically. The man who isn't investing already told her everything. She just didn't want to read the silence. When actions speak louder than words, stop waiting for the speech.
Ladies, let's talk about why unattractive men go for women who are out of their league and then reject those women. Because there is a phenomena going on in dating where a lot of men will reach and reach and reach and reach only to make women who are seriously out of their league, gorgeous girls, feel insecure, reject them, ghost them, etc. Here's why. It's because a lot of these men have deep-rooted insecurities and they fear that eventually the woman who's out of their league is going to reject them. So they want to be the first to do it, and that's why they will love bomb in the beginning, get you to like them, and then reject you. It's a weird psychology. And to them, it's not that they don't want a beautiful woman on their side, it's that their insecurities and their desire for control.
She's convinced the man who ghosted her did it out of deep psychological fear of her beauty. He ghosted her because he wasn't interested. That's the whole story. Occam's razor applies to dating too. The simplest explanation is almost always correct.
As a late 20s, going into my 30s, single girly, I'm fucking struggling. I am battling between, yes, girl, you're so super independent. Like, go off. Yeah, have your high standards. And then I'm struggling between, like, I need a man. I need a man. Not just any man. A good man. How are you gonna go do that? Go put yourself out there. But how does one do that? Because dating apps ain't it. They ain't it. And whenever a man flirts with me, I pull this. They say they flirt, and I'm like, Anyway, yeah, so I don't know, but it's getting really hot out here in Arizona, and people are by the pool, couples are by the pool, and they're like flirting and hanging all over each other, and it's kind of hot. And I just think back to that feeling, and that feeling is kind of unmatched. I'm not gonna lie. When you have a good connection and you're like, oh yeah, water, pool, hots, sun, tan, abs. Like, what the one night stand is out of the question. I know that, like, that's not how we're supposed to function as a society, but, like, that was so 27 of me. What is the answer here? Does your girl get lower standards? Does she keep them high forever and then just use what's in her nightstand?
High standards, flinches at flirting, jealous of pool couples, debating her own nightstand as the long-term plan. She's not struggling with standards. She's struggling with the gap between the man she wants and the men she's willing to accept. That gap doesn't close by itself.
Okay, serious question. Do people not ask people out in person anymore? Because I'm starting to think that I might be ugly. I'm being dramatic, but you know what I mean. Like, fully, I feel like I go out and I look hot and no one has approached me. Except for weird people sometimes. And literally, why is it always weird people? I'm like, are they the only ones who have the confidence to go up to someone? And I feel like it's probably like I'm not going to the right places or something, but also like, I don't know, I feel like in movies and TV shows, they made me think like if I went out, someone would ask me out in person. I'm like, it's not even, I just like, has dating like in person become like is it a dying art? Which we know it is. I mean, I know it is, but I feel like so many people have been like trying to go back to like the roots of like not being on our phones as much, not like relying on social media as much, like deleting social media, or like trying to go out and date people in real life and like talk to real people in person. And I'm like, are we gonna do it to me? Because I'm waiting. And it's okay because I've come up with plans. So first, I'm thinking, and hear me out, I'm gonna make business cards. I'm gonna make business cards detailing my credentials. And when I think someone's cute, say, you're cute. I won't even say you're cute. Here's my business card. That's option one. Option two is like becoming everyone's dream manic pixie dream girl. And going out somewhere and looking super cool, like specifically somewhere to go dancing, because maybe people are like, oh, I have to ask a girl to dance. Maybe that's the case. Like, I'm thinking that's option two. Option three is just going up to the people I think are attractive and saying, you're attractive, would you like to go out with me? But my issue is I'm such a personality-centered person. What if they're freaking annoying? So that's my dilemma. I'll come up with more ideas and I'll let you guys know if anything works. I don't think it will. No, I think it will. I literally sometimes I'm like, am I ugly? Like, did I think I was pretty and like funny and smart and cool and all those things? And then maybe I'm just ugly and uncool and unsmart and unfunny. But anyways, yeah. Okay, kisses. Bye.
Business cards. Pixie aesthetic. Full identity crisis by the end. She went from confident to maybe I'm just ugly in under 4 minutes. That's not a confidence problem. That's a woman who built her self-worth on external validation and just noticed the supply ran out. Build from the inside out. Everything else is just packaging.
This is my first video, but I ain't even gonna lie, y'all. I made more money being a hoe than being a fucking worker, doing something that I love. And it's a damn shame. Because all people in the world see me as a body anyway. Whether it be for good reasons or bad reasons. Like, I've been fired from jobs for being pretty. There's a such thing as pretty privilege. And you don't even gotta be all that. But when you're talented too, like me, like I'm a retired hairstylist after 26 years. I'm about to be 40. Well, I'm 38. Just turned 38. And I have a son. He'll be 15 soon. But I wanted to become a celebrity hairstylist, and I did that.
26-year career, talented and passionate, and the brand she built around herself overshadowed all of it. Reputation is the resume that arrives before the interview. Whatever was built in public is what people are responding to. She knows it. That's why she said it's a damn shame. You can't build two identities simultaneously and expect the world to only respond to the one you prefer.
Because I promise you, men ain't shit. We can love them all we want, but at the end of the day, we gotta do whatever we want. Preach. We can stay loyal, and we can go to a club. Let's go, bitch.
Men ain't anything. Do whatever. Stay loyal anyway. That's the whole thesis of why beauty alone stopped being enough. A man who brings everything he is to a partnership, his time, his loyalty, his resources, his character, reads that speech and quietly recalculates the terms. The woman who built this worldview will eventually meet the silence she created, not as punishment, just as consequence. Build your standard. Protect your peace, and never let a pretty face make you forget what those 9 words actually mean. Drop a like, share this with a brother who needed the full picture. Subscribe and stay in the room. See you in the next one.